With Benga, we can only but go into another very critical aspect, and this time we're looking at the education sector. Basically, how it affects the youth of today, especially with our current reality. We're looking at sacrificing education for talent and skills, and of course, if you've been watching the scene, there are lots of talent hunts
everywhere.
Were you discovered in any talent? Were you ever part of any talent reality?
I did. Well, not really talent reality. I did some choral stuff back in high school. Just more like a prize-giving thingy. Just go and represent your school, and that's what I did. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have another family coach with us on the show, and she'll be taking us through this topic. Her name is Chioma Ladejobi. Good morning, Chioma.
Good morning.
You look good. Great to have you here.
Joining us, Chioma.
Thank you very much.
Wow, education, very important too.
Very.
Without it, we won't be speaking Oyibo here this morning. But it's so sad what has happened and has continued to happen to our education sector here in Nigeria. Let's have like an overview, first of all, of the education sector and how the drop in standard is really affecting the youth of today.
It's sad actually, because if you look at our educational system, you realize that we are focused more on certificates. I don't know when we got there, I don't know how we got there, but we just found ourselves there. Now you find out that from primary school up to secondary school up to university, every child is hustling to get a certificate. Just the paper.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the story of a young boy who tried to
kill
poison?
Yeah.
Now that's a
12-year-old boy.
Have you thought about that? How did we get to that point where a 12-year-old boy has started thinking of the fact that I need to get a first class, or let me say
first position.
And the only way I can do it is to make sure I get rid of someone. Now let's take it to the university. Have you seen what our youths are doing today? If you're not sleeping with a lecturer, you're paying your way through it, you're doing whatever it takes.
Anything.
Well, let's ask ourselves.
Just to get good grades.
We get a first class, can we actually
defend it? I mean, we see the quality of graduates that we have today.
Have
you read some application letters?
I can actually apply for a job with a first class. But when they ask me to speak
English and you can't.
Just ask me a simple question. How do you intend to take this company to the next level? I'm dumb.
Yeah.
You don't even know what to say.
No, that's even simple. Tell me about yourself is the toughest question any graduate can answer. They can't answer that question. You ask a graduate, tell me about yourself, they're looking at you. They either tell you their best color,
yes,
their hobby.
I'm a boy. Sorry, I'm a girl.
I'll tell you how old they are.
Honestly. Now, all of this has, I started asking myself questions. What do I do with my child? As a mother.
Sorry to butt in, Chioma. You mentioned the fact that it's now very trendy for everybody to have a certificate, blah, blah, blah. I think they've even taken it a step further.
Okay.
As much as it's good to celebrate success and celebrate milestones, as you go on in life, it's ridiculous when you actually have like a graduation ceremony from someone who is moving from crèche. I see it every time on social media, and I just laugh about it. Like, is this really necessary?
We need to celebrate everything.
What's the essence? What's the purpose of all the celebrations? Yeah.
Do we celebrate the skills that our children
acquire?
Do we even encourage them to acquire skills?
Okay.
I was asking someone, would you allow your child drop out of school to become a cobbler? She looked at me. Of all things,
shoemaker.
I didn't even say, I had to modernize it.
to give it a very wonderful christening.
To make it look to make it sound prestigious. I said cobbler, and she looked at me, a homie. Whenever every other person have graduates, I said, look, we have smart children.
Yeah.
We have average children. We have below average children. Why push? Not even push. Why force them to continue to go to school? When you can actually encourage them to learn a skill. Have you watched your son to see, he likes to do this and that. He likes to design clothes, he likes to fix shoes, he likes to dismantle the television and fix it all over again.
Okay.
Why not encourage him?
Okay, Choma, yeah, fine. Just for the purpose of clarity, so we don't get people to think otherwise or go all right on this. The thing is, fine, your child has a skill and is very talented and can do several things, can actually build an aircraft from scraps and things they can find at home. But then again, are we saying that they should push education to the
No.
back burner?
Let me say this. I am not against education.
Okay.
Rather, I'm a pro-option person. I would say, look, let there be open table with your children. Don't just force them, narrow them to, they have to go to school. While they're going to school, give them something on the side to do. Let them learn something. Today, the economy of today doesn't rely on paper alone. It doesn't rely, yes, you can send your child to school, but for the love of God, give that child a skill.
A skill.
Classroom education is no longer enough.
Do you know that when you get out to the real world, what entails is not just what's on paper, it's what's here.
Okay.
What you can do with your hands. Where our factories, our production companies today, where are all of them?
So invariably, the people who do good at some skillful, industries, not just because of what they studied, it's because of what they actually have inside of them.
Yes.
The giftings,
We force our children today to study what we think is the best for
exactly,
them.
not
This is
what's,
this is the
that
profession
child
that gets a job quick.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind. And what do you want to study in the university? That your child says, I want to learn catering, and you say, no, go to banking. That's where you will get more jobs. That's where people are finding more jobs. But does your child love that field? I went to an exhibition years back, and they had children who were showcasing their skills. So this young boy who didn't go to school created something, a very small box where if you drop it here and you connect it to some gadgets and the rest of them, you can hear what people are saying on their cell phones from anywhere.
Wow.
Now, he brought it over to a particular company. I don't want to mention this company. Brought it over to say, I would like you to push this job. Do you know what they told him? We can't encourage this. Why? Because you're going to be listening to what the government will be saying. Imagine if this was outside the country. What would the government do? They will
Of course.
Yes.
develop this young boy, create his talent and blow it out. So we, the government, can use your skill to capture people who are doing wrong. But rather, what did we do here? We buried his talent and told him to go and sleep. You're going to be spying on the government.
We always look at the negative side
We're
of things.
constantly being protective of something, but what we're protecting, I really do not know. I think we need to start from the very grassroots, from the basics. Our educational system, first of all, I think the educational curriculum needs to be changed.
It needs to be changed because
We do math, English, but there are more subjects that should be added. Do we teach financial literacy in school?
No.
Do we teach customer service? We think it's only when you get to a company and you start to work that you need it. But our relationship with each other, do our children know how to communicate with each other?
Especially in this age of the cell phone, has taken the place of person-to-person relationship
Exactly.
and all that.
And social media is where we live our lives right now.
Even technical schools, we don't have so many of those around anymore. I recall then, if you were gifted in that line, technically, you go on to technical school. You don't need to bother with some certain maybe science subjects and all. But today, the case is different. Everybody has to
All right, let us see if we can actually bring Abuja into this conversation. We are being joined by Linus Okorie. He's the president of Guardians of the Nation International, GOTNI. Many thanks for joining us on Galaxy today, this morning. We're looking at sacrificing education for skills and talent on the show. I want to get your perspective. Would you really think that parents lately should be focusing more on honing the skills of their children in as much as they should be getting the right education?
For me specifically, I'm thinking about the balancing that is required. I love an educational system that can strengthen the discovery of talents, the discovery of purpose, and linking it to professional education. If you look at this country right now, the quality of productivity is so low. is so low simply because of the fact that a lot of people are doing work that they don't love. A lot of people, they just go to the universities or higher institutions to just get certification. And most of the time,
all right, so we'll try and reconnect with Abuja. We seem to be having some connectivity issue. Linus Okorie, we'll try and reconnect with
Come back to you
soon. Yeah.
All right, Chioma, now let's talk about talent now, because some people might mix it up. A lot of the talent, whatever, that parents even encourage today are those that are money driven.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, you must sing, oh, you know, there's plenty.
It's tilted towards
Or you must play
entertainment.
football. When we say talent, really, what exactly are we talking about?
We're talking about whatever passion you have within you to develop not just yourself, but your community, the country in general. And I don't see it as just entertainment alone. As a matter of fact, it is everywhere. You can go any area you want. It could be inventing something that changes. Have you seen, you know, I constantly read stories about young people who are changing the country, changing their community, changing environment. We are talking about treatment for cancer, we're talking about treatment for AIDS. Why can't it start from Nigeria, please? Why can't we have someone who develops something that helps us, young people who are either crippled or children who have one heart disease, heart problem or the other, get better? Why does it have to be entertainment?
Or even developing apps, you know, that makes life and, you know,
More
living
convenient and
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chioma, we'll get
Let's
back
go
to you. I
to
think we've been able to reconnect to Abuja. Thank you for staying with us, Linus. I'm sorry we had a bit of connectivity issue now. So can you continue from where you stopped, please? Go ahead, Linus. We can hear you.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, go. Sorry, we lost connection there with you. Can you continue from where you stopped, please?
Okay. Okay, great. What I was talking about literally is that we need to be able to balance certification and real talent discovery. If education that is based on high level of talent discovery as well as purpose discovery will be able to work more than an education that is based purely on certification. A lot of the people, as I'm talking to you today, who are working in different segments of the economy are not productive. The reason why they're not productive is simply because of the fact that a lot of them, rushed into the university to study courses that parents wanted them to study, and that had no business with their talent. And so there's a craze for certification, and they just go there and they're gathering certificates, and at the end of the day, no impact. Can we professionalize education in this country, whereby even comedy can have a school of comedy? You can have a school of comedy that is professional and certified, so that anybody who thinks is gifted and talented to do comedy can go through a school system to understand the body of knowledge around comedy. And at the end of the day, there's dignity of labor in that process. Even if another person wants to become a carpenter, could even be a school of construction where you begin to find out plumbing, all those things as tiling, those specific. You can design a body of knowledge around each and every one of those courses and internationalize it in such a way that people can, the best constructions in Germany, the best kinds of people around the world can come and transfer knowledge. And at the end of the day, you see these people become excellent in the kind of work that they do. So the craze for certification in this country is ego-based, not based on learning systems. And that is why at the end of the day, people are not productive and things. So that must change. Certification is important, but must change.
I mean, I concur on every single thing you have said there. Now, when you mentioned dignity in labor, I think that is an area where we need to do something very quickly, because society has sort of put a stigma on some certain kind of, what do you call these people who do handiwork? artisans.
Craftsmen, okay.
Yes, you know, a lot of the things they do, people just assume it has to be people who are poor, who are
Uneducated
downtrodden.
and all
For
that.
instance, you mentioned the issue of the cobbler or shoemaker. You know, it has to be someone who is uneducated, who is poor, looking tattered and dirty and all of that. You know, I met a bus conductor not too long ago, and we got talking. He does daily contribution, ajo, of 7,000 naira every day. Some people who work in an office, they have a table and a chair. You knot your thigh like you're gonna kill yourself or something. You know, you can't even afford that. Like, I'm trying to be real, you know, but you have people who are doing all of these other jobs that people look down on, who are actually making good money. But because the society looks at them as,
With disdain.
you know, yes, there's already like a stigma on them. People are ashamed, you know, to go into those kind of.
identified with that.
How do we begin to change the mindset, you know, of people to recognize that people who do all these menial jobs are not really doing it because, you know, for lack of something better to do, but just because they have giftings
And the passion
in that
for it.
area, and they are impacting on society in their own
Adding
little
value.
corner. Yes, in their own little corner, their own little way. That plumber there you call upon when your kitchen sink is messing up, if he wasn't there, we'll be in big trouble, you know, because your house will be flooded. How do we change the orientation of the people, and even the people themselves who do these jobs, because they themselves look down
on
themselves.
themselves. How
Yeah.
do we begin to change all of this?
You know, it's this is an issue of, you know, policy and execution. You know, policy formation and execution. I'll give you an instance. You know, in a place like America, do you know that a plumber earns so much? Not everybody can afford a plumber. And so at the end of the day, what they do is that people learn how to fix certain things by themselves. Not many people can afford a driver. Now, do you know that if I were a governor of a state, do you know that I'm going to create a lot of schools specifically to groom, you know, all kinds of human beings that are professionals in their best areas. Somebody skill might just be he loves, you know, to mold blocks. Do you know that you can create professionalism out of molding blocks? You can create professionals out of, you know, plumbing. You can create professionals out of carpentry. I mean, you can create professionals, you know, shoemaking industries can actually, you know, be filled with a school system that develop people that know how to make shoes and are certified for that. And there will be no dichotomy in the context of certification. So whether you go through a professional school or you go through a university, you know, I'm not going to employ you on the basis of that you went to a university. I will employ you on the basis of the skills that you bring on the table. Now you need a system that can run like this, because there are a lot of people who are out there on the street who are thinking that because I am a shoemaker, then it means that, you know, I am not to be respected. And then there has to be a confidence building program that will begin to get the mentality of the people transformed. And that's why I said this self-discovery school or talent discovery leadership school is important, so that as young people are beginning to make decisions for life, they begin to discover their talent, as well as knowing that the value they bring into the marketplace is supposed to be highly respected, rather than the certification that they have. Certificate is good, but guess what? You can get certified for being a professional builder. You can get certified for being a professional comedian. You can get certified for being a professional nanny. I have a friend that owns a school in Lagos that her job is, you know, she takes house girls and she trains them such that at the end of the day, they are professional nannies. So if you want to employ a house help, a house manager, whatever you want to call it, you know, you employ somebody who has gone through a professionally, you know, certified, you know, environment. So the person, instead of calling the person a house help, you can call the person a house manager. And at the end of the day, guess what? You can pay them appropriately, and they will make a living out of doing that, because they are creating value in your household. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. We have to create professional schools that will accommodate professional skills development processes, such that there will be a body of knowledge in this industry. For instance, do you know that some of the people who serve in restaurants, if you look at what happened in America, what did they do? They made a law that created such a tipping system. In America, if you don't tip, you go to a restaurant and after eating specifically, you have to provide a tip for whoever that serves. Now, guess what? At the end of the day, when they pull all of the tips together, you know what? Those people are living good lives. They have their own cars. At the end of the day, there's nothing different from the person who works, in a restaurant and the person who works in an office. So these things are government policies.
Thank you to Linus Okorie. He's the president of Guardians of the Nation internationally, international rather. And I must say, I've been following you, and I really I appreciate what you've been doing. And I must add, he was the first student union governor of my alma mater, that's Imo State University. Thanks for being a part of the show this morning. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Courier. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Courier. All right, back to Chioma. Now, our parents. And we are the new generation parents, so we went through that same era of you have to do what your parents says, and all of that. I'm a very clear example. I had to go to the university, study what my father wanted, came back, gave him the certificate, and went on to do what I wanted to do, which is what I'm doing. So for a lot of people go through that, but never have that courage to go back to their passion. How do we now re-educate today's mothers, to be able to identify the real talents their children have and help to harness those talents?
I think the first thing we need to do is let parents see the star in their children. We need to, first of all, change everything from the grassroots, from our educational curriculum to, I see a lot of award shows today. We celebrate actors, actresses. That's fine. I love what they're doing. But how many award shows do we have for kid entrepreneurs? How many award shows do we have for kid inventors? How many award shows do we have for the best student, maybe a primary school, secondary school, whatever it is?
Academic excellence.
We do not put them in the forefront for parents to say, wow, that's my
son.
I want my next son to do the same thing. We need to start from there. We also need to, I don't know if we still have the 1 year after secondary school before you get to university, that period you're using waiting for JAM. Please, can we, maybe we should make it be the 1 year. Let these young people apply as internship to companies, work 1 year before you jump to the university into that field you're not sure of. I also think that young kids should start business at a young age. I was listening to Mr. Okorie talk about the nanny. Do you know that there is a 12-year-old girl who started a business at 9-year-old employing nannies? Do you know that? There are kids out there who actually start businesses at a very young age. We also need to encourage savings.
Savings, okay.
We give our children pocket money. We just tell them, do whatever you like with it.
Yesterday, I was talking with a colleague here at work, and I'm like, oh, okay, this, my kids are on holiday again. This is the long summer break. Yes, they're out of school and all of that. I thought, what kind of a country is this? You can't even...
activities.
Yes, I mean, there are no summer jobs, because I have a daughter who is going into SS3. She's quite grown. She can actually do a lot of things. There's no summer job, nowhere to take. Yeah, she's at home watching Nickelodeon. I'm like, that's not cool.
All of that will do to her.
Exactly.
Nothing. But if she was working, she would learn, wow, so this is what mommy goes through
every day. She should learn entrepreneurship as well.
What goes into earning money, then she'll begin to value money.
Know how to manage this money.
Exactly.
All of these programs we need to start young. We don't need to wait for our children to get to secondary school, university before we start to inculcate them into it. We need to, if it means changing our, I don't know what the summer camp program schools do, but all of this should be introduced.
Okay.
I also think that before you get into university, you must have a skill. It should be
Speaking
a
of
must.
skills, you just talked about the role parents should be playing. Now, what about the children themselves? Because some of them, they don't even know what they do have. You know, because some of them, they just see, they grow up seeing a lot of accountants and bankers around them, and they feel, I want to be a banker like my uncle or my aunt. You know, when they get into school, they now begin to discover their latent talent, and at the end of the day, it's a little too late to start going back to, you know, JAMB and all of that. They're like, let me just ride it all through. And after then, they're like, I am not happy where I'm at
Then
right
life happens.
now. Life happens.
Thereafter.
All of that stuff,
Reality steps in.
identifying what your child is good at. Is also, if you can't find something your child is good at, introduce your child to different programs.
Okay.
It could be baking, it could be tailoring, tie and dye, cobbler, whatever. Just like he said, let's professionalize all of this.
Okay.
Maybe when your children see things that people do and they're proud of it, they'll be like, okay, I think I want to become a cobbler. Oh, I want to be a plumber. I want to do this. Until we start to professionalize all these
All
tiny
these things, yes.
we feel they're small. We think the people who do them are just dropouts. But hello, they fix your house for you.
Yes.
You pay them
You
to do
pay
that.
them good money.
And they say 3,000 there every day.
Just like you mentioned, how many people who sit on the desk can save that kind of money?
10,000 naira a day, you know, like seriously, let's be honest.
We need to start young.
We need to, yeah.
We need to start young.
Everybody should have a skill. Yes. My name is Patience Okafor. I am a proud bag maker. Yes. Aside what I do, at night I don't sleep.
Okay,
I
I'll
do my
remind
thing.
Margaret to
Yeah,
charge
you
you
should
for
have
free
a
advert.
skill.
No, for real. Guess what?
have a
I have to
skill.
force myself to learn how to bake.
Okay.
Why? Because I realized that after the 1 year strike Osu went through when I was in school, I got back to school and all my friends had gone to learn a skill, and I kept on saying, I am undergraduate, go and learn a skill. But when I realized that all my friends had learned something, I started praying for another
You
strike.
have to wake up.
All right, Chioma.
Thank you so
I wish
much,
we had
Chioma.
more time to do this, but we'll bring you back again on
So we can
another
talk some
lifestyle
more.
edition of the show. Thank you for
Fine.
coming.
Thank you so
Really,
very
thank
much.
Great
We
being
appreciate
here.
it.
All right, that's been Chioma Ladejobi. She is a family coach, and we've been looking at sacrificing education for talent and skill. Please, education is important.
Yes, it is so.
If I don't go school, I don't go feel speak English like this. But having said that, you still need a skill.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yes, you
We
do.
need to balance it, like Mr. Okore said. While you're getting educated in the classroom, please do go out and learn something.
Learn a skill, just
Learn to do
follow your talent in some way or the other, and you'll be glad you did. I must say a very big thank you to Linus Okore, the president of the Guardians of the Nation International, who joined us from Abuja, and of course to our certified